Welcome to this web edition of Cuse Countdown. I'm Russ Reed, and alongside me are Tim Langlois and Jay Alter. And guys, this matchup of Syracuse-NC State isn't exactly the best of the best, but both teams are playing for their first conference win.
Yeah, Syracuse, first real game, really, I think, in the ACC. Clemson, a real top team in the nation, not one of the typical teams they'll face in the ACC.
Both teams are coming off brutal losses, both Syracuse against Clemson, and then NC State, they lost to Wake Forest.
Welcome to this web edition of Cuse Countdown. I'm Russ Reed, and alongside me are Tim Langlois and Jay Alter. And guys, this matchup of Syracuse-NC State isn't exactly the best of the best, but both teams are playing for their first conference win.
Yeah, Syracuse, first real game, really, I think, in the ACC. Clemson, a real top team in the nation, not one of the typical teams they'll face in the ACC.
Both teams are coming off brutal losses, both Syracuse against Clemson, and then NC State, they lost to Wake Forest, who isn't a great ACC team. So two hard losses coming into this one.
Yeah, the teams may not be the best, but we'll probably see both of their A games. Now, guys, we're going to move on to the option and explain how this works. If you don't know by now, it's week 6. I think you guys should be riding the bench. But just for the viewers, I'll explain the rules a little bit. I'm going to make a statement. If you agree with it, you keep it. If you don't, you pitch it. We're all good?
Sounds great.
Here.
All right, excellent. Now, we all know Terrell Hunt struggled against Clemson, throwing 3 interceptions. Terrell Hunt does not turn the ball over against NC State.
I'm going to keep that one. I think that he'll have a good game against the wolfpack down in Raleigh. He threw 2 picks last week that were on 3rd and long, so I kind of take those out of it. I'm more worried that he's going to get injured with the type of style of play he plays where he has to run around a little bit. I think that he'll have a bounce-back game against NC State.
He's got to tuck that ball in if he doesn't want to turn the ball over. He waves it out too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be a little bit careful more protecting the football. His first turnovers of the season last week. Now, the SU defense got shredded by those Tigers as well.
Oh, yeah.
And NC State, they've gotten over 300 yards of offense every game so far this season. So, does NC State get over 300 yards of total offense against SU?
Yeah, Russ, I'll keep this one. They do it again. And as you mentioned, SU gave up more than 600 yards against Clemson. So all NC State needs to do is half that, and they'll be able to produce enough offense to keep this one. So I'll keep this one. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and I think the captain of that defense, Marquis Sproul, will be motivated. He's trying to move up that SU career tackles list. Now we'll move on to our X factors for the games, guys. Who you got?
I'm going to go Terrell Hunt. I know it's the easy pick, but he has to come back in this game. 3 picks last week against Clemson. I think he has a bounce-back game in this one. Just has to find the open guy. Don't do too much if you're Terrell Hunt. Just get the ball to the by-committee receiving core that they were using when they were winning games, and I think that Syracuse will get the win.
Tim, I'll take the wolfpack wide receivers, and that's more of a testament to how bad the SU secondary is looking right now. But let's take a look at those NC State wide receivers. You got Brian Underwood. He's no Sammy Watkins, but he's still going to be tough for a Keon Lindless SU secondary. I'm going to go with the wolfpack wide receivers as my X factor.
Yeah, and without Lynn, a 3-year starter, the safeties Jeremy Wilkes and Richie Desir are going to be tested big time.
Could be a long day, Russ.
Definitely could be a long day. So what are your scores for this game?
I'm going to go Syracuse 31-24. I think that the Orange will, get it done in Raleigh. It's a big game for NC State. Pete Thomas had to do a lot last week, and they still lost to Wake Forest.
Tim, put that on. I hate to interrupt, but this is going to be brutal down in Raleigh. NC State coming off a bad loss against Wake Forest. They're coming home, and they're just going to squash the Orange. It's going to be crazy. 24-10. The home crowd in NC State. This is what is going to be left of Terrell Hunt, Scott Schaefer, and Syracuse at the end of this one, Russ.
You know what? I really hope Terrell Hunt isn't as pulpy as that right now, because that desk is an absolute mess, and hopefully they don't get squashed to juice. So that's going to do it for us in this web edition of Cuse Countdown. You can catch up on all our content on sportsblog.citrustv.net. You can also catch us on social media as well at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For my analysts, Tim Langlois and Jay Alter, I'm Russ Reed. Have a great day.